Alright guys, well third pie is a charm. This is going to be the unboxing. I haven't taken it out of its box yet, so this is going to be the first time this guy's exposed. Oh yeah, when you get a brand new pie, it comes with these little plastic strips on the camera and display ports. You just want to take those guys off. Not that we're going to be using the camera display. Okay, let's try not to break this one. So, we will take our pie. We will take this SD card that we formatted yesterday. We'll stick it into our pie, face down as before. And now let's get it hooked up to a monitor. Alright, so here we have our Raspberry Pi all set up. We've got our mouse and our keyboard. We've got our HDMI in, our SD card, and then the power, which is not plugged in quite yet. So I want to show you guys how this will look when you first boot. Now, unfortunately, a little bit of background, when I broke my Pi yesterday, I was in the middle of formatting it, and it seems like the SD card did save all of my initial setup. So I set my time zone, I set my location, I set my new password, but that should all be pretty self-explanatory. I don't think you guys will need any tutorial for that. So let's plug this in. This is going to look how it will after you've already set up all of your initial configurations. So this is going to be just the Pi desktop, no setup needed. But we do need to come in here for one thing, and that is to find the IP of this Pi. And in order to find the IP of this Pi, we are going to type the command ifconfig. Now there's only one IP that you need to worry about, and it's always going to start with 192.168, and the last few numbers will probably be different. This is what we are going to use in the future to connect to our Pi, so that obviously if it's going to be on a car, we can't really have a giant screen attached to it, so we need a way to interact with this device without having to plug all the stuff in. And how we're going to do that is with this IP. So come in here, take note of this IP. Like I said, it's always going to start with these numbers, so that should be an easy way to figure out what it is. And yeah, that's about it. We won't go into remote desktop today, but this is something that you just want to take note of and keep it in the back of your mind for the next video. Okay, so since we tested our SD card and we see that it has Raspian, everything's working fine, let's go ahead and delete everything on this SD card again, and then we'll go and do this whole process over again in Windows. Alright, so just like we did on the Mac, the first thing we're going to want to do is go to raspberrypi.org, go to downloads just like before, Raspian just like before, all of it's the same, download the zip. The only difference is going to be how we upload the file to our SD card. The Raspberry Pi installation guide recommends that for Windows, we use a software called Etcher.io. I've never used this before, so I'm going to download it and see how it works. It seems pretty simple. All we do is we select an image, select a drive, and then click a button. Alright, so this is the Etcher application. Since I'm using the game recorder, the Windows game recorder, you're not able to see the file folder that pops up where I'm selecting the image, but I promise you what I'm doing is I'm selecting the file that I just downloaded and unzipped. And it took me a while to find it, but once you find the image, all you do is select your hard drive, and it looks like, I'm not there yet, but it looks like it only allows you to do a generic SD, it wouldn't allow you to mount to your actual SSD. So it's only allowing me to choose this generic storage USB device. And that's it. We press flash and we start going. This is the screen you should see if the mounting was successful. I'm going to take my SD card out of my computer, plug it back into my Pi, and we'll be able to see the initial setup process for the Raspberry Pi. Okay, so we've plugged our SD card into our Pi and it was successful. Raspian started loading up. It prompted us with some questions like our new password and our location. And it does take about 20 minutes, just so that you guys are aware. Be patient. As long as there's a green light going on your Pi, you should be good. There shouldn't be anything really going on or going wrong with it. So just keep that in mind. If the screen goes black for a minute or two, That's totally normal. As long as the light's still on, just let it be, let it do its thing, and you should be good to go. Once you are done, remember to take note of your IP. Go into the terminal, type in the command ifconfig, and then take note of the IP that starts with 192.168. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Next video we are going to be using that IP to both log in via SSH and with a remote desktop application. See you guys then.